You know, the fact that Donald Trump is filling his administration with reality TV stars, like himself, is just very indicative of how unserious he is. But that this really is going to be the reality TV administration. In 2016, at least he was running on somewhat of a sensible platform, minus the, racism and all that stuff. He was talking about working class issues. But in this go round, Donald Trump didn't talk about anything but racism. We're going to deport everybody. Haitians eating people, dogs, and cats. We're going to put tariffs on everything. And that's pretty much all he had to say. Obviously Hannibal Lecter, and just nothing was coherent in this campaign. And in his second administration, he's picked several TV actors to lead massively important agencies that don't just oversee. I mean, look, listen, among other things, they employ a lot of people, but these are massive, massive agencies that are directly related to the health of this country, whether it be the Department of Defense, which is the largest employer in the country, but also obviously incredibly important for our foreign policy and domestic defense. But also now we got Dr. Oz. And look, I don't care if he's a medical doctor in real life or whatever. This man has primarily been on television. That's what he's done. So he shouldn't be in this position. Now we're going to go over a little bit of why. So Trump picks Dr. Oz to lead massive Medicare and Medicaid agency CMS. Okay, so let's check this out. And as it says here, CMS operates or oversees healthcare programs that provide coverage to about 1 out of every 2 Americans. 1 out of every 2 Americans. And we got a reality TV doctor who's going to be overseeing that. And we already know that Republicans want to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. We'll see how far they get this time. John McCain isn't here to save the day, so we will see. Okay. So, 1 out of every 2 Americans, Medicaid, and it oversees Medicare and Medicaid, the Children's Health Insurance Program, and the Affordable Care Act. All right. President-elect Donald Trump on Tuesday said he would nominate Dr. Mehmet Oz, celebrity TV host and former U.S. Senate candidate at Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator. CMS operates or oversees programs that provide health coverage to about 1 out of every 2 Americans, which we just went over in the marketplace healthcare.gov, which is the Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, which incredibly so many of these racist ass Republicans don't realize that the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare are the same thing. And still to this day, they don't. Those four programs account for $1.6 trillion in spending, or nearly 25% of the entire federal budget, which Trump highlighted in announcing Oz was his pick to lead the division of the Health and Human Services Department. Trump said last week that he would nominate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a vaccine skeptic and conspiracy theorist, to Health and Human Services Secretary. So again, these people obviously got to get approved by the Senate. Maybe some of them won't, but there's really not that much reason to believe that Republicans are going to give that much pushback to Donald Trump, if any, because they haven't up to this point. So why are they going to start now? Oz previously hosted the Dr. Oz Show, a syndicated daytime television program for more than a dozen years. He was the Republican nominee for a U.S. Senate seat from Pennsylvania in 2022, losing to Senator John Fetterman. And Trump said, America is facing a healthcare crisis, and there may be no physician more qualified and capable than Dr. Oz to make America healthy again. Yeah, because he sees Dr. Oz on TV, so he looks the part. He looks the part because Trump is a simpleton. He is an eminent physician. He is an eminent physician, heart surgeon, inventor, and world-class communicator who has been at the forefront of healthy living for decades. Dr. Oz will work closely with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to take on the illness industrial complex and all horrible chronic diseases left in its wake. Our broken healthcare system harms everyday Americans and crushes our country's budget, Trump said. But of course, again, Donald Trump already attempted to get rid of the Affordable Care Act in his first term. He's going to do it again in this term. And again, whatever heart surgeon, whatever, Dr. Oz has been on television for over a dozen years, as we just read. So he shouldn't be in this position. You want to have somebody who this is, this is just a complete disaster. You want to have somebody in these positions who is completely dedicated to the task at hand, who has vast amounts of experience managing people. Dr. Oz, I mean, he's a successful guy. He may be a physician, but he's not. He shouldn't be doing this. Dr. Oz will be a leader in incentivizing disease prevention so we get the best results in the world for every dollar we spend on healthcare in our great country, Trump said. He will also cut waste and fraud within our country's most expensive government agency, which is a third of our nation's healthcare spend and a quarter of our entire national budget. So there you go. You know, cut this, cut all the waste. It's just the same old BS. But this by far and away is the most clown car, cartoonish ass administration I've ever seen in my 32 years of life. Hey now, thank you so much for tuning in here at Politics and Paper. If you like what I do and you support my work, go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it and it really helps to support what we do here.